She said something like coming to sorry.
Please be seated. So please, if you can join us this evening for the 2018 University of Alaska Southeast Sitka Campus Commencement Ceremony. Before we start, I'd like to remind you to silence your cell phones and other devices. Please be aware of our two exits, one in the back of the room, one in the front, in case of an emergency. Restrooms are out this front door and down the hall to your right. For parents with small children who may need to stretch their legs or their lungs, we have set up a dry room across the hall in room 216 where the ceremony is streaming live. Childcare is available in the Student Success Center room 222 down the hall. This time, please stand for the singing of the national anthem, which will be sung by Mrs. Sarah Brewer. If your cap is attached to your hair, you can leave it there.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
I'd now like to introduce you to the incoming Sitka Campus Director, Leslie Gordon. Leslie joined the Sitka Campus faculty 12 years ago in 2006 as Assistant Professor of Health Information Management. In 2008, she was appointed the HIM Program Director. 2 years ago, Leslie was promoted to full professorial status, at the same time took on administrative duties. Since that time, she has served as Assistant Campus Director of Academic Affairs. Leslie formally begins her role as UAS Sitka Campus Director on May 13th. Please help me welcome incoming Director Leslie Gordon to the first Sitka commencement ceremony that she will officiate.
Parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters, aunts and uncles, cousins, spouses, sons, daughters, friends, and is anyone of our graduates, thank you for being here. Welcome to the dedicated faculty, staff, administrator, and regents. And welcome and congratulations, most especially to the University of Alaska Southeast Sitka campus college class of 2018. To signal the achievements of their students, American institutions of higher learning conduct a formal ceremony to award the appropriate degrees and credentials earned at the conclusion of prescribed study. The action of taking the certificate, occupational endorsement, or degree, as well as the designation of the day itself, is called commencement. Various explanations for the term commencement are possible. Most likely is that centuries ago, the bachelor, originally an apprentice, began an apprenticeship upon that day, and with the degree of MA or PhD, the masters and doctors commenced their work upon that day. Their degrees were conferred, so today, students, having finished their preliminary education, set out upon the career for which they have prepared. Graduates, we celebrate your achievements in this commencement ceremony and recognize this milestone in your educational and vocational journeys, a milestone worth celebrating. This year's graduation is one of the largest we have had in total numbers on the Sitka campus, with students completing a total of 157 UAS Sitka campus degrees, certificates for occupational endorsements. However, as almost 70% of our students attend classes online, many of our graduates are unable to join us tonight and will be receiving their degrees in absentia. Additionally, we are happy to recognize 7 additional University of Alaska students living in Sitka who are receiving degrees from other University of Alaska campuses, and they have been invited to participate in our local ceremony. I would like to introduce our podium guests on the stage. From the left to the right is Regent Lisa Presser, followed by Regent Dale Anderson from the University of Alaska Board of Regents. They have joined us this evening in Sitka to officiate the conferral of certificates and degrees. UAS Provost Karen Perry joins us again this year from Juneau. Next to the Provost is our commencement speaker, Ms. Jane Gibson. And finally, we have UAS Chancellor Rick Coughlin. I'd like to thank them for joining us in this celebration. This evening, our graduate name will be read by Mr. Christopher Washko, Student Services Manager. Students were given the option to also have their heritage names read aloud. Robbie Littlefield, our instructor of Alaska Native Languages, will present those names. I'd also like to recognize Dr. Jeffrey Loftus of the UAS College of Education, Jim Powell from the UAS Public Administration Program, and Dr. Megan McPhee from the UAF College of Fisheries and Ocean Sciences, who are seated with the faculty. Thank you for traveling to Sitka in order to help us recognize your Sitka-based graduates. This campus works to serve our community and our region. The Sitka Campus Advisory Council helped us do that. I would also like to acknowledge and thank our Advisory Council members for their service. It is through this council, with members from Sitka and Wrangell, that the campus remains in touch with the needs of Southeast Alaska. We really appreciate their involvement and input, and thank all of the members of our advisory committee. Give them a round of applause. And finally, I would like to acknowledge the amazing faculty and staff who provide teaching excellence and administrative support critical to our students' success. They are the heart of the institution. They work hard to serve our students, whether live or in person, virtually, through Blackboard, email, Google Hangouts, Skype, however we can get a hold of them, phone, even text. Will all of the faculty and staff please rise and be recognized? through life and the role that education played in those journeys. First is our UAS Chancellor, Rick Caulfield. Dr. Caulfield's extensive university experience began when he served as an instructor in Alaska's Bristol Bay campus, part of the University of Alaska Fairbanks. His career includes teaching, research, and service that led to tenure and promotion to the rank of full professor at UAF. He serves as a department chair, academic program leader, campus director, and dean. He took the position of UAS provost in 2010 and was chosen to serve as chancellor in 2015. Dr. Caulfield earned his PhD through studies in Aboriginal subsistence whaling in Greenland and the Arctic. He earned his master's degree in education from the University of Alaska Fairbanks, a BA and BS degree from the University of California, Berkeley in political science and natural resources. He speaks both Danish and I'm not going to try to pronounce, you can tell us what Greenlandic Inuit language is. Chancellor Caulfield strongly believes in service to his community and serves on boards and committees, such as the Juneau Economic Development Council and Juneau World Affairs Council. I am pleased to introduce Rick Caulfield at this year's commencement.
Anya Kusani, Rick Caulfield Ye Hatu Asam, UAS Chancellor Ayafat, Gunas Chief Adi Adi. Honorable people, I'm Rick Caulfield, Chancellor of the University of Alaska Southeast. It's good that you're here to help us in this celebration of our graduates. And first and foremost, I congratulate all of the graduates who are here today and those who are listening online. Congratulations to you all. And thank you to the family members who are here to help celebrate the accomplishments of your loved ones. As you heard, I began my remarks with an introduction to the Tlingit language. I want to thank Professors Quine, Lance Twitchell, and Ishmael Hope and their students in Juneau for their help and their encouragement in my learning that introduction. But I want to note that my first instruction in Tlingit, limited as it was about 4 years ago, and it was in an online class taught from the Sitka campus by Robbie Littlefield, who is here with us today. And I want to thank Robbie publicly for her skill in teaching, her encouragement, and believe me, in her patience. I had my first opportunity to use that introduction just recently at the Alaska Native Studies Conference that took place in Juneau only about 3 weeks ago. We had some 200 guests from all over Alaska, the North Slope, the interior, Western Alaska, the South Central part of the state, the Rail Belt. And it was really an august occasion. We had over 50 academic presentations from Alaska Native faculty and staff. We had a welcome from the elders of the Oxquan, the ancestral home of our campus in Juneau. We had a wonderful gathering of Alaska Native students who are working on or who have already earned their PhDs, and that's a growing number. It's very exciting. And I heard many Alaska Native languages spoken from all across our great state. And it was really a great event to host because we have relatively few opportunities here in Southeast Alaska at our 3 campuses that make up the University of Alaska Southeast, Juneau, Sitka, and Ketchikan, to host a statewide entity like that, a statewide conference. And I was really heartened because so many participants told me how welcome they felt and how at home they felt. And it was really a wonderful sense of engagement with the community, just like you have here in Sitka. But it was a rare event. We don't have an opportunity very often to share what we have at the University of Alaska Southeast with our friends and colleagues elsewhere in the state. And we don't have often an opportunity to talk about how special our university is and how special the communities that we serve are. And I was reflecting just a little bit about what is it that makes the University of Alaska Southeast education special. Well, first and foremost, it's the amazing quality of our graduates, those of you who are here and those online. And you truly are amazing. We're so proud of you. At UAS, only about a third of our students live on a campus, especially in Juneau where we have housing.
and come right out of high school. More of our students, and that would include many who are here today, are what we refer to as non-traditional students, not between 18 and 24 years of age. A majority are female, about 2/3 are female, and the average age is 29. So when you think about college and people think right out of high school, 18 to 24, that's a part of our student population at the University of Alaska Southeast, but it's actually a minority. Most of our students are students who are raising a family, they're working jobs or two, and they have other responsibilities. So those of you who are in that situation, you're not alone. And the second reason that I think UAS is special is our mission. If you look at our mission statement, the very first word at the top is student. And student learning is at the heart of what we do. And there are other institutions where research is more prominent, service is more prominent, but I'm very proud of the fact that students and learning are right at the top of our mission statement. And the third point is our vision, which is to be a destination of choice for excellent academic programs and engaging learning opportunities. And that destination might be in a classroom, but it may well be online. And many of our students, as we know, especially here at the Sitka campus, where about 70% of the students are in fact taking classes online, are engaging with the university at a distance. And I can't tell you what an important service that is for Alaska, because there are so many Alaskans who are not going to be able to move to a place where we have a campus, and yet they are craving education and training to improve their lives. And so I'm very proud of the fact that we have that opportunity available. And it's no longer correspondence study like in your grandmother's day. I actually remember getting books in the mail. Remember, some of you will remember that. It's high class, it's very sophisticated, and many of these faculty are involved in just that type of delivery. And I would say the Sitka campus in particular epitomizes the best of that outreach and has for many years. When you think about how we reach out to students wherever they are, whether it's the medical assisting program, law enforcement, health information management, fisheries technology, math and biology, all of these are available both on campus but also at a distance and online. And what's important about that, I think, is our three campuses, Sitka, Juneau, and Ketchikan, work together as one regional university. And that's a decision that was made here in Southeast Alaska long ago, over 30 years ago, and I think it's served our region well. The other thing is we have an opportunity, because we're relatively small, to give special attention to our students as opposed to going to a university in a big city. We're only at UAS about 8 or 10% of most numbers, like our budget or the numbers of graduates that we have compared to our sister universities up north. But because we're small, we never get lost on our campuses. Your advisor and your faculty member know who you are. And students time and again tell me how special that is. And as an example, I'm really pleased to hear Leslie has told me about the Sitka Start program this year with 13 students building a cohort right here in Sitka and helping each other succeed. And I'm told they're not only taking classes together, but also participating in other extracurricular activities outside of the classroom. And that's a welcome presence here on this campus every day. Some might think we're remote because, of course, all three of our campuses are in communities you can't drive to, but you'd be wrong. And that's because University of Alaska Southeast for years has pioneered quality online learning and reaching out to students all over the state. Most recently, we've been asked to take on some more statewide responsibilities, and one that I'm very proud of is our university, UAS, has been asked to take a lead across all of Alaska in teacher education. Now, you'll still be able to take a teacher education degree at UAA, at UAF, which is actually my alma mater, where I got my own education degree. But I'm pleased that the Board of Regents recognized the strong programs at the University of Alaska Southeast and our ability to provide leadership working with our colleagues at Anchorage. We also offer important interdisciplinary degrees online, a Bachelor of Liberal Arts and a Bachelor of Arts in Social Sciences. And then we have programs like those I mentioned here at the Sitka campus, Fish Tech, medical assisting, health information management, and more. And we're also expanding our programs in Alaska Native languages, cultures and studies, and in Northwest Coast arts. Finally, I'll just note that we offer some really exceptional learning opportunities, and a couple of examples that I love here at the Sitka campus. I've had the opportunity to participate in Whale Fest, and I've always been struck by the amazing opportunities that students have to engage with outstanding researchers and scientists who come to Sitka from all over to participate in Whale Fest, and the opportunity that provides both for students in public school here in Sitka, but also here at the University of Alaska Southeast campus. Reed Brewer was showing me the dive gear he had from the dive semester, and students in Fish Tech coming from all over, including outside of the state, to progress from open water diver to research diver, something that's very distinctive in our state, and yet so important for those who are interested in going on and working in resource management or in the fishing industry. And they also learn about skip operations and outboard motor repair. And then also wanted to mention something that I'm very excited about. We just signed an agreement with the U.S. Coast Guard for something called the College Student Pre-Commissioning Initiative. So students, especially those here in Southeast Alaska who are interested in a career as an officer in the Coast Guard, can go into a baccalaureate degree program, apply to the College Student Pre-Commissioning Initiative program, and get their tuition paid fully in their junior and their senior year. The Coast Guard is very interested in seeing more Alaskans who know our communities, know our fisheries, go into officer candidate school. And so I would encourage any of you who are thinking about that as an opportunity to consider the College Student Pre-Commissioning Initiative. And then, of course, I love that this campus has a wonderful partnership with Mount Edgecombe High School. And I see Janelle Vaness, who's here. Thank you, Janelle, for being here and for all the good work you and your staff do so exceptionally well with students from all over Alaska. And we'd love to continue expanding that partnership in the future. So small as UAS is, small as this campus is, we have outstanding faculty. And I want to give a special shout out to Dr. Matt Crafton. Where's Matt? Right over here, who just recently was promoted to associate professor with tenure at the University of Alaska Southeast. Let's give him a round of applause. And then, of course, we also have some exceptionally hardworking administrative leaders, including, I want to say, Jill Hansen, who served just tremendously as our interim director over the past year. And it's just been a pleasure. I got to know Jill earlier on when I was provost here. And when we needed someone to step up and provide leadership, Jill was willing to do that. And so, Jill, thank you very much for your service. And then finally, of course, to Professor Leslie Morton, who I was just thrilled when she applied for the position as director, and equally thrilled when she was selected. So we're very happy to have you, Leslie, on as director. So just to wrap up, UAS and this campus, Juneau, Sitka, Ketchikan, we may be small, but we offer exceptional opportunities for students. I always say that we're working hard to grow and expand the culture of education and training in our state. We're creating opportunities for graduates to take 21st century jobs. And that means educating students today for jobs that have not yet been created, for technologies that have not yet been invented, and for a world that's only getting smaller each and every day. So that's our charge. That's what these graduates are about. They're pursuing education and training because they know it leads to a better life for themselves and for their families and to make their communities a better place. So I'm proud to be here to help celebrate the accomplishments of our graduates. So we look forward to actually providing your diplomas to you this evening. So thank you very much. And with that, it's a distinct privilege and honor to introduce our commencement speaker, Northwest Coast artist Janine Gibbons. Janine is a mixed media artist who grew up on the Inside Passage of Southeast Alaska and currently lives in Petersburg. Ms. Gibbons works in many mediums, including jewelry, photography, painting, sculpture, and illustration. She holds degrees from the Art Institute of Seattle and Fort Lewis College, and recognizes her formal education as being influential in the development of her unique artistic perspectives. Janine's art and jewelry can be found across the country in fine shops and galleries, including the Smithsonian Renwick Gallery and the Seattle Art Museum. Ms. Gibbons also recently found success as a children's book illustrator, working in partnership with Sea Alaska Heritage Institute. Her latest illustration projects include an ancient Haida story, The Woman Carried Away by Killer Whales, and the Tlingit story, The Woman Who Married the Bear. Both books are part of the Institute's award-winning series, Baby Raven Reads, which serves to promote and preserve the oral traditions of the Tlingit, Haida, and Tsimshian cultures of Southeast Alaska. In all of her artistic mediums, Ms. Gibbons takes inspiration from her Haida and Scandinavian ancestors. She also looks to the intricate colors and patterns of nature and has found a way to meticulously craft her work in such a way that continues to evolve and inspire those around her. So please join me in welcoming this amazing and respected artist, creator, and entrepreneur, Janine.
Today. I'm going to start by singing for you all. My very first time ever in my life. I was just in Haida last week or the week before, and was given a song so that I could sing it to all of you. And I'm going to show you that you don't always have to do things the way that things have always been done. So I just learned this song last week, and so I'm actually going to play part of it and sing with it because. Acknowledge my Tlingit family and friends for being here today in this land that we now stand. It's a real honor to be here. Margaret Hamilton, Hanu Dinan Keaskagan, Janine Hanu Bikian, Yakanas, Dias Kagan, Ayet Di Widne Alagan, Dilan Wadlin Akilagan. My name is Janine Evans, and I would like to just say that this has been a real honor to be asked to be here. I just found out that you guys like voted for me to be here, which brings a lot of healing to me. Actually, my great grandmother, my Haida grandmother, she was orphaned a long time ago, the early 1900s, and she was sent to the Sitka Industrial Training School here in Sitka. And so for me, it's just like a real full circle for me to be here today and to honor her in this way. So I thank you for not knowing that, but choosing me to be here. And she was the first Haida school teacher in Heidelberg, which is pretty amazing. I found, there was about 600 Haida people left by the early 1900s. And so for her to be able to come and go to school here, to be orphaned, and to go out and to graduate from college and come back and teach her people, our people, and on Prince Wales, and to inspire people, through these hardships. And she still persevered and came to training, and she gave birth to my grandmother, who was the first Haida bush pilot. I think one of the first female pilots in Alaska, actually. So it was really amazing as well that we come from this long line of strong women here in Alaska and other places too, but that's my journey has not been a straight line at all. There was only me and my brother and my mother when I grew up in Petersburg, Alaska. And I'm also, I don't know if you know much about Petersburg, but there's a lot of Norwegians there. And they forget people, and all my friends forget. And I'm a Haida, and I'm a Swede. So it was always like, who do I belong to here, And so part of my journey was not a straight line at all, because I did not feel like I ever belonged to anybody, really. And so when I was this Alaska national teenager, when I was 17 years old, my brother had signed me up, and I was like, I'm so embarrassed I'm doing this. But I didn't really have a direction in my life at the time either. I've always been like I am. I like to do a million different things, and I just could never focus. And so I went to this pageant up in Anchorage, or in Kenai, and I had no idea what I was doing. They said, bring your progress. I said, okay. So that year, I had black carpet clothes. I was wearing this cocktail dress and this bolero jacket that my mother had made for me. And everyone there had these huge dresses on, because they'd all really been doing this thing for real, And here I was I do not look like anybody here. I'm totally not prepared. And, I was really proud of the yearbooks, because I was the yearbook editor in high school. So I was well, I'm here. Here's my yearbooks, and so people really enjoyed that, because I just was well, I'm not going to win anyway, because I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just going to show who I am and what I'm proud of, and that was my yearbook, and then I won. I was oh my gosh, So when I went home, everybody's you what? You didn't tell us. I was and. Fortunately, my brother did that for me, because it provided me a college scholarship, which I didn't have before, and I went to the Art Institute of Seattle. But I was an exchange student in the meantime, right after I graduated from high school. So I went abroad, and I lived in Germany, and then I came back, and my mom didn't want me to study art. She wanted me to drive heavy duty equipment. She wanted me to drive backhoe, for real. And my dad drives backhoe. He built roads for logging roads, and where I was actually put on a logging camp when my mom went into labor with me. Yeah, she wanted me to drive heavy duty equipment, which was great. I could have done that too. But she didn't want me to be an artist at the time, which I was actually, now in hindsight, great advice, because it is hard being an artist. It is a lot of work. It would have been way easier to drive back, for real. And so I ended up getting a degree in management and travel and tourism from the Art Institute of Seattle. And so that was in 1995, right? So that was when the internet was started. And so my degree became completely obsolete right when I graduated. And so I went to work on and yachts, and because I always wanted to see what more of Southeast Alaska was about. You know, I just grew up in Petersburg, and so I remember I'd been working retail, and I saw these little Williams beer pins in this Glacier Bay. I was like, where's this Glacier Bay at? I've never been there, being from where I'm in Petersburg. I thought someday I'm going to go to Glacier Bay. So I did. I worked on the cruise boats as a deckhand, of which they hired me as a deckhand thinking that I knew something about knots, which I did not. Yeah. They said, well, are you from Petersburg? Do you know what you're doing? I'm like, no. Like, well, you better learn because we're docking the ship here like shortly, so, you know, learn your bowling, you know. So I did, you know, and then I had enough time to get my 100-ton license, and I was trained in marine firefighting as well. And then I went back to college and decided to get a real job. So I was like bartending on the side, and and got my associate's degree from Lane Community College in Eugene, Oregon. And during that time, I studied biology, and I really wanted to become a biology teacher or to go into biology, but I'm really horrible at chemistry, and at that, I passed with like 0.01%. So that was not my calling, but I learned a lot about whales and all the things that I wanted to learn about. And I also studied religion. I spent a lot of time. I was always really concerned about religion and learning other people's ways and beliefs and why they believed the things that they did. And then what did I do? Then I went on to go back to school also in Fort Lewis College in Durango, Colorado, where for me that was really life changing because when I grew up in Petersburg, we didn't talk about our Native heritage at all, like not at all. And so for me to go into the Southwest, it was a requirement to learn about all the other different indigenous tribes of North America, which was really eye-opening for me to understand that. And so when I came back, I just started also asking questions like, who am I? Where do I come from? You know, all of these things. Why don't I know these answers? And so at some point I was going to school, I went back to school again, and in my late 20s, and was almost ready to graduate with a degree in elementary education. Well, I didn't care, right? So I was like, elementary education, but I would have seizures really, really, really bad. And so a semester before graduating, I left school because I was having 3 seizures a day. And I became an artist because I needed to make a living. And so for 10 years, I was an artist and made a living as an artist just because for the most part, it was the way that I could make a living. And so I took like a 10-year break and had 2 kids. I was on the Borough Assembly in Ketchikan, Alaska, because I said, why not? You know, I can do that too. Why not? And so it was me and a whole bunch of guys, older men, and me on the Borough Assembly. And I thought, you know, you can do anything. I can do anything if you really want to do it. And that was the point that why they elected me, was because I had my own voice, I had a unique perspective, and I was different than everybody else. And for me, that was always a struggle because I always felt like a total weirdo because I am a lot different than most people, but that's totally the best part of being you, is being you. And it's taken me about 40 years to be okay with being different. And so I went back to college to finally graduate after I'd had 2 children. My daughter was 1, my son was 3, and I was going to go back to school to become a naturopathic doctor. So that's what I wanted to do at that time. But my daughter was screaming all the time. I could not concentrate. I was like, I want to heal people. I want to help people. This is the way I thought that I could do it. And so I went back to Fort Lewis, and when I was there, I finished my art. I finished in art because, you know, that's what I do. And, you know, it's really funny is that now that I'm 40, and now that had all these different degrees and all these things. Every single one of those degrees I've used. As random as they all have been, I've used every single part of my education. When I went to the Art Institute of Seattle, I learned how to get a job. It was a technical school. And so I learned how to have a resume, which is so important. Your resume is huge. And so at that time when I was 19, when I had graduated, I had already had a portfolio, I had a resume, I knew how to go out and start my own business, because really what they're pushing for was getting a job, And so I always had those that background. And when I had just was kind of taking a break from my life, because I was a jewelry designer for 17 years, I was like, I am so ready to take a break. I've been doing this nonstop at this time, supporting my family, supporting my husband at the time, and I was like, I need a break. And 2 years, this was a few years ago, 2 years before I got into the Smithsonian, I decided that I wanted to go to the trade show in Los Angeles. This is one of my favorite stories because it just shows how sometimes you can do something right now and it just seemed like it was like a waste of time, and that it wasn't a waste of time. But I met some woman at this LA gift show, and they were representing zoos and big museums throughout the country. And I thought, oh yeah, sure, I can make something for you with my enamel jewelry that I did. And I had giraffes, zebras, whatever you want, I could do that. But I didn't hear from her for 2 years. And one day I got a message, and she's like, oh, would you like to design something for us? I said, oh, sure. So they represent 50 different locations. So I said, oh, sure, whatever. I'd love to, And then she got back to me, and I'm like, who is this for, by the way? She's like, oh, it's going to the Smithsonian Renwick Gallery store in Washington, D.C., right next to the White House. And I was like, wow. This hadn't even really been on my radar of things that I was going to be shooting for, but thank you for putting me in the top, and without even knowing. And during that time, I had also been given the opportunity to illustrate 2 books for the Alaska Heritage Institute. And again, I had never illustrated a book in my life, right? I was not an illustrator, I was a story designer, but just like many of you know me as probably from earrings, right? Is that how I'm here? Because people have my earrings. So the same thing happened. I had applied to do this illustration, but I always wanted to, that's with my passion. I just love to paint. And the first year when I applied, they didn't give it to me. And I was like, fun, of course, but a year later, I was on a walk and I was kind of going through a tough part of my life. And I said, great spirit, I need the most obvious sign that I am on the right path. I just see that I need the most obvious sign that I'm doing the right thing. And I had been on a walk. And I got back to my studio. And there was an email from the Alaska Heritage Institute that said, hey, would you like to illustrate some stories for us? Right? And so that's what happened. And so the woman that had just taken over recognized me for my earrings. And so I got a job as an illustrator. And that's how I got to do that. And that whole part of my life unfolded because as I was illustrating the woman who was taken away by killer whales, that ended up being that was my family's story. But because I didn't grow up with my heritage and stories because of genocide and orphans, many generations of orphan people, I didn't grow up with that part of my life. And so every single page when I illustrated that book was a part of my family's story. Some things I got from knowing, and some things came from dreams. Some things came from one time being here in Sitka and asking some questions, and then all of a sudden the answer was there just by talking to somebody. There is real power in sharing and talking, and sometimes it just happens that way. There's no, it's not always A to B and you're going to have the answer and that's it. So for me, now I get to sing and be here because of this long 40-year journey of my life, which you guys just completed for me to get the closure that I needed for my grandmother. So I'm so much gratitude for each and every one of you here today to allow me to be here this week. So what I want to say is that there's know, you might graduate, you are graduating, which is like huge. Like you guys stuck it out and it is awesome. And I don't mean stuck it out, but it's like, it's tough. Graduating is tough and being here and showing up every day. And that's part of the process. It's just showing up and being authentic. And that's what I want to show you. Be authentic with whatever you're doing when you're out there. Talk to people, ask for help. Don't feel like you can't ask for help. It's always going to be there. And sometimes when the doors close for you, that is absolutely necessary. There are doors that are going to close for you left and right, and there's going to be times where you're crying. I mean, I can't even tell you how many times I've cried over like, why is this happening? But I needed that time too. Crying was necessary. The doors that were closing were necessary. The doors that opened then happened too. And every single part of the journey was part of that. And so when you're out there and you're fixated and doors close for you, go, oh, this is a real opportunity for me to learn something more. What is being shown to me here by this door closing? Because there's going to be a ton of doors that open too, and it's going to be like, after each door, there's going to be another door. So just know that there's going to always be another door. So just keep going and be authentic and be kind and enjoy your lives while you're doing that. And the other thing is come back. Like you're going to go out, like definitely go and explore this world and come back and share all the things that you learn in other places, because this is our community. This is where we're from. And these are our people. We're our people, you know? And so what a wonderful place to be. And so thank you so much for having me here today. What an honor. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Beautiful.
Thank you.
I mean, that was incredible and inspirational. Thank you. Sorry, let's see what's now. That wasn't my fault. Thank you. That was beautiful. Each year, a student and faculty member are invited to share their reflections as the academic year just ended. Tonight, we will hear from Assistant Professor of Medical Assisting Amy Samuel with her faculty reflection, and she will be followed by graduate Ellen Chenoweth presenting the student. I'm not going to sing for you, but I am going to sing for my children. Friends, family, guests, and graduates, good evening. In our program, we do a lot of simulations before going out into the real world. So please follow me as we review your path to graduation, as it might be seen by going to a doctor's office. My name is Amy, and I will be your medical assistant today. Similar to making an appointment at a doctor's office, upon connecting with our UAS facility, you likely gave your name and date of birth as identifiers. You completed registration paperwork, even signed into our online portal, which allows access to your records. Once in the system, you explored your electronic records and could view Blackboard, Title IX training, and account information. At the start of your visit, you checked in with your instructors, either virtually or in person, and provided additional information as requested. Now, in the medical field, we use to document patient care, we use the SOAP system. The SOAP note is subjective, objective, assessment, and plan. So let's continue your visit today by looking at what that visit might look like. Subjective, also known as the chief complaint. This is the patient's reason for the visit, and it can include symptoms the patient has had or is currently experiencing. During your visit here, you may have experienced some of these symptoms, such as excitability, nausea, anxiety, headaches, pain in the buttocks, moments of weakness and confusion, memory loss, or exhaustion. You may or may not have had a family history of experiencing these conditions, and some may have lasted longer than others. Depending on who you have seen in our practice, these complaints could also be stated as writer's block, having periodic doubts about chemistry, experiencing math problems, having fish tech breath, or feeling artsy-fartsy. All right, next is objective. This documentation is what is observed or measured throughout your visit. During your time here, we have analyzed your vital signs and tested your reflexes. We explored Maslow's hierarchy of needs and Erickson's stages of development. You've demonstrated safety and emergency procedures and maintained equipment. You've taken deep breaths and we listened. Voluntary and involuntary muscles were checked, noting mild tenderness. And though we may have questioned your hearing at times, your vision is clear and 20/20 both eyes. You were found to be alert and oriented ×3, no knowledge deficits. Sleep was mostly regular QHS every night, with some occasional emotional hemorrhaging. You are competent in displaying tactful and sensitive communication. And since you're sitting here today, your test results were mostly positive, and in this case, that's a big thing. Assessment. Your assessment is the part of the note where the provider gives a preliminary diagnosis. Your family and friends may have been part of your visit here, so be kind to them. In healthcare, standardized codes are used for reimbursement, and although medical assistants don't diagnose, I have identified several ICD-10 codes that may apply to your current condition. Z02.0, encounter for examination and admission to an institutional education. V41.9, anxiety and apprehensiveness, mild. R45.0, nervousness, mild. G93.6, cerebral edema, or swelling of your brain, and have identified Y92.218, school, as the place of occurrence for the external cause. And C71.89, educational counseling has been provided. And finally, now your plan. So what happens now? Your prognosis is good. This condition is acute, not chronic. So today you'll get a booster shot in the arm to help with your cognitive anticoagulation. We've confirmed you have blood and gut. So continue to exercise your brain and your heart as you leave here. As you check out, and in some cases, set up a payment plan on the way out. Smile. In a few minutes, you'll get a certificate to return to the home and work. We will file your chart away, but if you feel the need to be reassessed, you're welcome to return here PRN or as needed. Thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity to reflect on my very long educational journey. It is an honor to celebrate with you all here in Sitka. This campus and this community have supported my educational journey in various ways since even before I began my PhD. When I talk to elementary students about science and try to explain what a PhD is, I usually tell them that I'm in 23rd grade. It's a lot of grades. I'm literally out of grades. When I was 28 years old, I took charge of a scrappy little research expedition stationed at a hatchery on the other side of Fairmount Island. This was the main research cruise to collect data I could analyze for my PhD. We were trying to understand why humpback whales feed on juvenile salmon at release sites, whether their feeding was affecting how many adult salmon are available to fishermen, and how those effects could be minimized. I was incredibly anxious. For 28 days, I would be in charge of my crew, piles of research equipment on loan, and our research objectives. My intern cheerfully put my fears of inadequacy into words. On her first day on the job, she said, I've never been on a research trip without any adults before. My biggest concern was about a robot that was supposed to map the density of fish in the water column. I nicknamed him Little Buddy. This was my attempt to see him more as a lovable, enthusiastic research assistant and less like the clown car for gremlins that he turned out to be. I was not told how much the robot was worth, only that the batteries alone cost 20 grand and that they would sink straight to the bottom. A few days later, I had to make a gut-wrenching call to the researcher who loaned Little Buddy to me and explain that I had failed. In an overly cautious attempt to make sure that the robot wasn't filling up with water, we had dropped it about 4 feet onto concrete. And of course, it had landed on its sensitive instruments. Instead of reacting with anger or understandable disappointment, he simply asked whether it was still working and if I would be able to get the data that I needed. That matter-of-fact kindness was the last thing I had expected to hear. Later that day, my intern skipped out to the center of Chatham Strait where she could get cell phone service. As I tinkered with the stranded equipment on the dock, she relayed instructions from that researcher 4 time zones away to me using our marine radio. Little Buddy did eventually roar back to life. In that moment, that scientist was my hero. And that moment was one of dozens during the course of my PhD process where a kind and talented person salvaged a bad situation or opened up an opportunity, making my work possible, and ultimately helping me to create new knowledge about how some of the largest animals on Earth make their living. In my experience, the people who I admire the most and who have made the biggest difference in my life are people who are both kind and skilled in some way. In this field, I've worked with many people of genuine kindness and staggering ability. I have also, of course, worked with people of great ability who were less kind. People who meant well but were not particularly helpful. And of course, that dreaded 4th quadrant. But I hope that for you, as for me, these interactions tended to be transient, while moments with people who are patient and generous have shaped my life. All the graduates here are more useful and more powerful for having undertaken a course of study. Maybe some of you are like me and have a tendency to look at a skill or a base of knowledge, admire it in other people, and diminish it as soon as you yourself master it. As if the very fact that you've now mastered something means that it must not have been so valuable or so difficult to begin with. I often find that in my own mind, as an achievement gets closer, it often gets smaller. I want to emphasize that the accomplishments we celebrate today are remarkable. They set you apart. And if you choose, they make your kindness more powerful. So whether you, like me, are celebrating the end of your student careers or have many more tests and lectures ahead of you, I hope that you recognize the value in what you have achieved when you take time to share it with others. And on this Star Wars Day, as you move on to pursue new goals, may the Force be with you.
Thank you, soon to be Dr. Chandler. We're thrilled to have you receiving your degree with us here in Sitka. And thank you to Professor Stanley for taking us on the hospital visit. So with assistance from faculty and the podium party, let's begin the Academic Achievement Awards presentation. I'm going to start by asking Professor of Health Information Management, Susie Piero, to join me on the stage, and we're going to present the Health Information Management Graduate Award of Distinction. We have the privilege to recognize a student of Health Information Management as the 2018 HIM Graduate of Distinction. This is a graduating student selected collectively by the program faculty for demonstrating active engagement and a strong professional aptitude during her studies. This year's HIM Graduate of Distinction is Tanya Burchett. Stand up here and family in 1975, living briefly in Fairbanks and then settling in the Mat-Su Valley. She says that she left Alaska for a few years, found her husband, drove him back up here, and he is here with her today. Rich, where are you? Yay! They joined us, her also here from Marcella. During her work in the HIM program, she always remained steadfast and determined. Tanya was always willing to step in and help her fellow students when they were in need. She was a pleasure to have at every single class. Tanya and her husband run a nonprofit called HELP, helping escaped and lost pets find their humans. The HIM faculty and Sitka campus advisors are happy to make a contribution to their nonprofit. Congratulations, Tanya. I'd now like to invite Assistant Professor of Law Enforcement, Straily Myers, to present the Law Enforcement Graduate of Distinction Award. Good evening and congratulations to all of you here tonight. I am very honored tonight to have the privilege of recognizing Eric Swisher as our 2018 Graduate of Distinction for the Law Enforcement Associates of Applied Science degree. Regrettably, Eric was not able to join us tonight, but he was hopeful that he would be able to see the live stream of the ceremony. So, Eric, if you're there, hello, congratulations. We're very, very happy that you'll be receiving this award tonight. And I don't know where the camera is, but I'll show it. Eric is like so many of our University of Alaska students in that he completed his studies remotely via distance learning while holding down a full-time job and taking care of his family. He further distinguished himself by earning a grade point average of 3.79. He is different from most of our students in that he holds the demanding job as Chief of Police of the Kotzebue Police Department. A job that is truly 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I'm sure that he doesn't get a break unless he leaves town and can't be found. Even though Eric had already achieved the pinnacle of a professional career in law enforcement, he sought the formal academic credentials available through our law enforcement degree program. In Eric's words, the degree program allowed him to expand his knowledge of policing, crime, and criminal behavior, and see the bigger picture of these issues across the state of Alaska and throughout the United States. Eric says among the many things he learned, he improved his skills to research, gather, and analyze crime data to identify improvements necessary in how crimes are investigated and addressed in communities. He also said that taking classes while working full-time compelled greater time management skills, which is a bit of an understatement when you can be called out at any time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Despite Eric's 26 years of experience combined in both military and civilian law enforcement, he says he enhanced his skills and gained added confidence in his ability to provide public safety services for his community. His dedication to his profession and to his education is quite remarkable. It is with great pride that the faculty of the UAS Sitka Law Enforcement Program award Chief of Police Eric Swisher with his AAS degree and recognize him as this year's honor graduate. Our hearty congratulations to Eric for your accomplishments and enthusiasm for lifelong learning. Be safe out there. our students pursue a 2-year general studies degree, the Associate of Arts, which is highly transferable to a bachelor's program and allows students a great deal of flexibility and room to explore interdisciplinary fields. Several of our faculty instruct courses that fulfill general education requirements and credits for an AA or an AAS. I'd like to invite to the podium Assistant Professor of Biology, Dr. Paul Bonner, to present the 2018 Associate of Arts Graduate of Distinction.
Good evening, everybody, and congratulations, everybody. I would like to recognize this evening Lori Sitka. She's associate degree in arts, and I'd like to recognize how she was very special in her persuasion of her study, how she can be recognized with her perseverance and hard work, and she was a role model. We all agreed, the faculty of arts, science, math, that she was very special and very distinctive in her persuasion, even with all the balancing her family responsibilities together with her full-time job, and also with all the demands of our courses and faculty. She managed to keep going, and she was keeping her balance with cheerfulness. She was very authentic. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here tonight because some terrible accident happened to her son. That Saturday it was in the news, and he was airlifted to Seattle. So, my congratulations to her. Would like to just lift up a prayer in our hearts for her son recovery. So, Lori Sitka, if she's watching now online or through the camera, congratulations, Lori. Keep up the good work, and we are so proud of you. Thank you.
I'd like to invite Professor of Fisheries Technology, Dr. Reed Brewer, to the lectern to present Fisheries Technology Graduate Distinction.
Good evening and welcome, soon-to-be graduates, families, and guests. My name is Rick Brewer. I'm the director of the Fisheries Technology Program, and you'll have to forgive me. This is my first speech on squishy hats, so I'm off somewhere you have. The Fisheries Technology Graduate Distinction is a graduating student selected by the program faculty to demonstrate a high level of engagement in courses, labs, and practicums, as well as academic achievement as an evident passion for the field of fisheries technology and marine sciences. This year's Fisheries Technology Graduate Distinction is the youngest of 11 siblings and grew up on a farm in Idaho, which is right down the river. Like many fish tech students, this year's graduate distinction grew up with a big appetite for being outdoors. When I asked the students about her experiences working as part of her internship monitoring steelhead in the Potlatch River in Idaho, she said, the best parts were camping, feeling connected to the environment, and working and living with coworkers outside. The hardest parts were camping every day, being connected with the environment, and consistently living and working with coworkers outside. This student's been a positive force in all of her courses, an exemplary student, and a joy to be around. This year's Fisheries Technology Graduate Distinction is Angela Carr. Unfortunately, Angie couldn't make it today because she's likely camping, feeling connected to the environment, and living and working outdoors with her coworkers. Congratulations, Angie.
Graduates, we are now at the point of the program where we can begin to celebrate your accomplishments and to confer those credentials and degrees that you have worked so hard to obtain. We are excited to begin tonight's acknowledgement of academic achievements by first recognizing those students who have completed their general education development requirements. To do this, I'd like to invite Adult Basic Education Coordinator, Ms. Audrey Lee, to the podium.
I am honored to begin tonight's acknowledgement of academic achievements by first recognizing those students who have completed their general education development requirements. We are happy to have 3 graduates participate in our commencement ceremony this evening. It requires great determination, effort, time, and discipline to achieve this final and significant step of what equivocates to the completion of one's secondary education. Being able to recognize and seize this window of opportunity to earn your academic credentials, even when the path to reach these goals is not always a smooth one, is an admirable accomplishment. We are confident that your GED will serve as a solid foundation and support for whatever you choose to pursue in the next chapter of your life. Whether it be advancement in the workforce, pursuing post-secondary studies, or continuing ahead with life in another city, state, or country, you have options. Congratulations.
Will the standard for requirements for general education development diploma please stand up and approach the stage to be recognized as your names are read. Brian J. Allen, in absentia. Daniel Joseph Brinsfield, excuse me. Austin Wayne Cranford. Tyler Clark Miller, in absentia. Deanna Jeanette Schultz, in absentia. Dakota James Troop, in absentia. Daniel Cooper Tuttle. Michael Earl Vandal, in absentia. Jesse Helen Warren, in absentia. Jessica Pearl Vidmar, in absentia. So they may not be able to travel to Sitka to join us for the commencement ceremony. We know that many of our graduates are celebrating their successes in places such as Anchorage, Fairbanks, Randall, Kotzebue, Seward, Palmer, and so many other Alaskan communities, big and small, that are served by the University through distance education. The online programs of Sitka also make it possible for us to be graduating students tonight from locations much farther away, such as Astoria, Oregon, Hoover, Alabama, Killeen, Texas, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Albuquerque, New Mexico, and East Machias, Maine, to name a few. The names of occupational endorsement and undergraduate program students who have taken advantage of distance delivery and e-learning opportunities to complete their program of study from their home communities will be read with those present tonight. All graduates are invited to share a photo to be displayed on the monitors at the side of the rooms, so we can recognize their accomplishments wherever they might be celebrating this
There are a number of individuals who have started their post-secondary education by earning an occupational endorsement. Completing an occupational endorsement means the student has industry-specific knowledge and skill sets gained in a relatively short period of time. We would like to recognize each of these students for their accomplishment. This year's UAS Sitka is awarding 99 occupational endorsement certificates, and we are fortunate that many of these students could join us tonight. Will the students who have attained an occupational endorsement stand and approach the stage? to be recognized as your major rank.
Brandon Dean Arnold.
Nakusa Kagwan Sitka.
Occupational endorsement, welding. Braden Thor Benke, in absentia, occupational endorsement, welding. J.C. Kaylin Wardakowski, occupational endorsement, certified nurse aid training. Brianna Lynn Clark, occupational endorsement, nurse, certified nurse aid training. Sydney Grace Cleveland, occupational endorsement, certified nurse aid training. Aaron Thomas Cook, absentia, occupational endorsement, Alaska Salmon Enhancement, occupational endorsement, fisheries management. Fatima M. Corteza, in absentia, occupational endorsement, certified nurse aid training. Jessica J. Creasy, occupational endorsement, certified nurse aid training. Whitney Lee Crittenden, in absentia, occupational endorsement, Alaska Salmon Enhancement. Darren Lee Beaton,
Athabaskan from Fairbanks.
occupational endorsement in construction technology. Ashley Ann Dunker, in absentia, occupational endorsement, Alaska Salmon Enhancement. Garrett Dean Eliason, occupational endorsement, welding. Benjamin Arthur Exey, occupational endorsement, construction technology. Narissa Calvana Hernandez, occupational endorsement, certified nurse aid training. Ashley Jordan Forbes,
Van, from Winona.
occupational endorsement, certified nurse aid training. Leanne Molly Rose Francis,
Jew, from Pilot Station.
occupational endorsement, certified nurse aid training. Taylor Ray Ellen, in absentia, occupational endorsement, certified nurse aid training. Alexandria Starr Henderson, occupational endorsement, certified nurse aid training. Ethan Jack Clayton,
Of Acquiesce.
occupational endorsement, construction technology. Rebecca Eileen Jenkins, occupational endorsement, certified nurse aid training. Washley Joseph Jordy,
Wanka, from St. Mary's.
occupational endorsement, welding. Sydney Ray Timber, occupational endorsement, welding. Kelly W. Cleaver, in absentia, occupational endorsement, welding. Caleb Ian Knudsen. Occupational endorsement, welding. Paul John Larson.
You came from the Pontiac.
Occupational endorsement, welding. Isaiah Way or Move.
Now, hold up. You came from that home.
Occupational endorsement, and welding. Valerie Jackson Jr.
Gate Poutine. The Navy finger from Hawaii.
Occupational endorsement. Norval Iyer Nelson.
Poutine. The Navy finger from Sitka.
Occupational endorsement. Sean Lee Osborne. Occupational endorsement, welding. Aiden Siku Orion Osborne. Occupational endorsement, welding. Ariana Shay Houghton.
Who did it? You picked from St. Mary's.
Occupational endorsement, certified nurse aid training. Laurel Virginia Houghton.
Angola. You picked from St. Mary's.
Occupational endorsement, certified nurse aid training. Samuel E. Pointer Jr. in absentia, occupational endorsement, certified nurse aid training. Cameron Camille Ramirez Hanson in absentia, occupational endorsement, construction technology. Madison Ann Stone. Occupational endorsement, certified nurse aid training. Chance Leroy Brood.
Yeah.
Occupational endorsement, welding. Victoria Bennett Wallace in absentia, occupational endorsement in health information technology. Lacey Marie Wolf in absentia, occupational endorsement and certified nurse aid training.
Thank you, and congratulations to these students. We would also like to take a moment to recognize those graduates of the fall 2017 and spring 2018 classes of the Alaska State Trooper Academy who completed an occupational endorsement in law enforcement. Their achievements are celebrated in a separate ceremony hosted by the Department of Public Safety. I would now like to ask Chancellor Caulfield to come to the podium for the conferring of UAS undergraduate degrees and certificates.
The UAS Sitka campus delivers its educational programs not only with local and regional leadership, but also under the ultimate authority of the University of Alaska Board of Regents. Regent Dale Anderson and Regent Lisa Parker have traveled here to Sitka tonight to assist in officiating this commencement ceremony and the conferral of the degrees, and we're very grateful for your making that journey. For honoring the accomplishments of our students and for the conferring of the undergraduate degrees and certificates, I'd like to ask Regent Anderson to join me in the lecture. And will the candidates for University of Alaska undergraduate degrees and certificates please stand? Regent Anderson, it's my pleasure to present these candidates for University of Alaska degrees and certificates. The registrar has certified that they fulfill all the academic requirements, and the faculty of the University of Alaska Southeast recommend that these candidates receive their awards. Tonight's ceremony honors the achievements of 48 undergraduate program graduates who are receiving a total of 56 degrees and certificates. Many of these students have attended University of Alaska Southeast via e-learning from towns and villages all across Alaska. Others are local residents who studied here in Sitka or by distance from other University of Alaska campuses. Although those not present may have been unable to travel to Sitka to participate in our celebration, we respectfully confer their degrees in absentia. And please note that cum laude means that a graduate has earned a 3.5 grade point average or higher. Magna cum laude indicates a GPA of 3.8 or higher. And summa cum laude means students are graduating with a 4.0 GPA. Additionally, in 2015, the UAS Sitka campus chartered a chapter of Phi Beta Kappa, the International Honor Society for 2-year undergraduate program students. Members of Beta Phi Chi Sitka campus chapter of Phi Beta Kappa are also noted in your program. So graduates, please come forward to accept your diploma as your name is called.
Dream Antipara, in absentia, Associate of Applied Science and Health Information Management, Certificate, Health Information Management Coding Specialist, Certificate, Healthcare Privacy and Security, Occupational Endorsement, Health Information Technology. Madeline Mendoza, RC, Certificate, Medical Assistant. Marcos Nick Arguello, in absentia, Certificate, Health Information Management Coding Specialist, Certificate, Healthcare Privacy and Security. Cassandra Marie Asquith, in absentia, Certificate, Health Information Management Coding Specialist. Deborah B. Farmer, in absentia, Certificate, Health Information Management Coding Specialist, Phi Beta Kappa. Michelle Elaine Beamish, in absentia, Certificate, Health Information Management Coding Specialist, Certificate, Healthcare Privacy and Security, Occupational Endorsement, Health Information Technology. Gavin Dean Blood, in absentia, Associate of Applied Science and Fisheries Technology, Occupational Endorsement in Alaska, Salmon, and US. Tamarack Tomaszewski Roletto, in absentia, Certificate, Medical Assistant. Tanya Lynn Bruchet, Associate of Applied Science, Health Information Unit. Bill G. Burt, in absentia, Associate of Applied Science, Fisheries Technology. Janelle Dallas Carvillion, Associate of Arts. Angela Marie Carhart, in absentia, Associate of Applied Science, Fisheries Technology, Occupational Endorsement, Alaska Salmon Endorsement, Occupational Endorsement, Fisheries Management, Phi Beta Kappa. Kimberly Christina Davis, in absentia, Associate of Arts. Sarah Michelle Dean, in absentia, Associate of Applied Science and Health Information Management, Phi Beta Kappa. Katie E. Denman, in absentia, Certificate, Health Information Management Coding Specialist. Alexandra Georgina Dorsey, in absentia, Associate of Applied Science, Fisheries Technology, Phi Theta Kappa. Maria D. M. Diakono, Certificate, Medical Assistant. Kathleen Dora Hagan, in absentia, Certificate, Medical Assistant. Christine Dorothea Hansen, Certificate, Medical Assistant. Desiree Montanique Harris, Certificate, Medical Assistant. Rujane L. Caper, in absentia, Certificate, Medical Assistant. Jennifer Marie Usman, in absentia, Certificate, Healthcare Privacy and Security, Occupational Endorsement, Health Information Technology. Taylor Shea Kite, Certificate, Pre-Nursing Qualifications. Emily Ann Klosterman, in absentia, Associate of Applied Science, Fisheries Technology. I will say that there's quite a few folks who are not present at the moment, so I'll read through. If I say in absentia, I'm going to let you guys hold our applause to the end, and then we'll do one real good applause for all of them. Christina Long, in absentia, Associate of Applied Science, Fisheries Technology, Occupational Endorsement, Alaska Salmon. Christina L. London, in absentia, Associate of Applied Science, Fisheries Technology. Mary Rose McCosta, in absentia, Certification in Medical Assistant. Robin Myra McLennan, in absentia, Certificate, Medical Assistant, Phi Theta Kappa. Chloe Marissa Miller, in absentia, Associate of Applied Science, Fisheries Technology. Carissa Aileen Moses, in absentia, Certificate, Medical Assistant. Sarah Lynn Patterson, in absentia, Associate of Applied Science and Health Information Management, cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Tasha Marie Perry, in absentia, Certificate, Medical Assistant. Kyla Francine Phillips, Bachelor of Arts. Nadia Marie Poncho, in absentia, Certificate, Medical Assistant. Stefania Alexis Portucci, in absentia, Certificate, Medical Assistant, Phi Theta Kappa. Brooke Ashley Rivera. Business Administration, cum laude. Anne-Marie Roll. She's in the house because she works here and has been running this event, so I put Occupatus Ask, which means she's busy. Associate of Arts, Occupational Endorsement, Financial Institutions. We'll give her a Laura Rochelle Rubin, in absentia, Certificate, Medical Assistant. Sidon Tejora Santos, in absentia, Certificate, Medical Assistant. Lori Ann Serga, in absentia, Associate of Arts, cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Julie N. Sinclair, in absentia, Certificate, Health Information Management Coding Specialist. Dawn M. Smith, in absentia, Certificate, Medical Assistant. Vina Talea Stowe, in absentia, Associate of Arts. Jacqueline D. Swart, in absentia, Associate of Applied Science and Health Information Management, Certificate, Health Information Management Coding Specialist, magna cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Eric Allen Swisher, in absentia, Associate of Applied Science, Law Enforcement, magna cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa. Catherine Bulgarin Villaflores, Associate of Applied Science, Health Information Management, Certificate, Health Information Management Coding Specialist. Roxanne Geneva Yancey, in absentia, Associate of Applied Science, Health Information Management, Certificate, Health Information Management Coding Specialist, Certificate, Healthcare Privacy and Security, Occupational Endorsement, Health Information Technology, Magna Cum Laude, Phi Beta Kappa. Jason R. Yeldington, in absentia, AA.
And now we turn to the graduate degrees. The decision to continue one's education beyond the baccalaureate level signifies a commitment to becoming highly prepared and specialized in one's field of study. Graduate degrees and post-baccalaureate certifications and licensures serve to identify scholars pursuing an in-depth understanding and mastery of their chosen profession. To recognize the accomplishments of our students and for the conferring of the graduate degrees and certificate, I would like to ask Regent Parker to join me at the lectern. Will the candidates for University of Alaska graduate degrees and licensure certificates please stand? Regent Parker, it's my pleasure to present these candidates for the University of Alaska degrees and certificates at the graduate level. The registrar is certified that they have filled all academic requirements, and the faculty of the University of Alaska Southeast recommend that these candidates receive their award. Derived from medieval origins, academic regalia has been worn by scholars since the 11th century, when the rise of universities began in Europe. Learned clerks robed themselves in gowns, caps, and hoods, and thus marking the difference between gown and gown. The hooding, as we will do, of a graduate student represents their entry into academia as master scholars. Our visiting faculty will assist in the ceremonial motion as each candidate for a graduate degree is presented. Dr. Jeffrey Loftus and Dr. Jim Powell, please join me on the podium.
Andrea Rose Holden, Master of Education in Mathematics Education, Graduate Certificate, Mathematics Education, K through 8. Willow Michelle Hedrick, Masters of Public Administration, Natural Resource Policy. Willow Sarah Moore Ulbricht, Masters of Public Administration, Natural Resource Policy. Francis Trevor Wegner Wegman Lawless.
At this time, I'd like to welcome Dr. Megan McPhee, Associate Professor of Fisheries at the University of Alaska Fairbanks, who's based in Juneau, and UAS Professor Dan Straily to join me at the podium. Dr. McPhee, will you present, please, Ellen Chenoweth?
Ellen Maren Chenoweth, Doctor of Philosophy, Fisheries.
Dissertation, bioenergetic and economic consequences of black whale degradation at salmon hatchery release sites in Southeast Alaska. Abbreviated abstract. In the last decade, some humpback whales in Southeast Alaska began feeding on juvenile salmon reared and released into the ocean by hatcheries. When whales were common at hatcheries, fewer of those salmon survived, matured, and were caught by fishermen. Juvenile salmon are typically less densely aggregated than krill or herring, but require less energy for whales to capture.
Ellen's major advisors were Dr. Megan McPhee and Dr. Shannon Atkinson.
Please recognize Dr. Ellen Chenoweth.
Now, if I could call Regent Parker and Regent Anderson to the lectern, please.
Congratulations, graduates. Tonight, we celebrate your achievement in the presence of your family and friends. On the recommendation of Chancellor Caulfield, with the concurrence of President Johnson, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Constitution of the State of Alaska, and as a member of the University Board of Regents, I hereby confer upon you the degrees upon which you have earned, with all the rights, privileges, and honors you so richly deserve. For those of you who are on stage, please join me in welcoming the graduates. We are also fortunate this evening to be joined by Provost Karen Carey, who began her post as UAS Provost in 2016. Dr. Carey holds a PhD in psychology from the University of Cincinnati. She worked in the California State University system as a faculty member and later as a dean before making her way north to Juneau. Each year, an individual faculty member in UAS is recognized for their excellent contributions to university life. This year, across all of the 3 UAS campuses, there were 5 different awards to recognize excellence in teaching, research, service, advising, or an adjunct faculty. I'm so very pleased to tell you that this year, one of the 5 recipients is a faculty member here on the Sitka campus. Provost Carey, will you please present the award?
Thank you, Leslie. Together each year, the Office of the Provost and the UAS Faculty Senate recognize significant contributions and achievements of faculty. These faculty are nominated by individuals throughout the UAS community. At least 3 letters of support are needed for each nomination. Of these 5 Faculty Excellence Awards named each year, I have the honor to present one of these to a faculty member here at the Sitka campus. The 2018 Faculty of Excellence Award in Research goes to Janice Straily, Professor of Marine Biology. Dan, would you please join me on stage? Jance's research is focused on humpback whale predation at hatcheries, as well as sperm whale depredation on longlines. She and her team continually monitor the population of southeast humpbacks. Jan is a champion for science education. She partners with the Sitka Sound Science Center to coordinate programs such as Scientists in Schools, the Scientist in Resident Fellowship at the Science Center, and Sitka Whale Fest. Jan also mentors undergraduate UAS Sitka science researchers through the BLAST program, who are hosted in what the Sitka campus affectionately calls the Whale Lab. Congratulations again.
Well deserved. That's super exciting. So graduates, we are so proud of what you have accomplished. So now is the really fun part. So everybody's sitting down. Graduates. And now to make it official, graduates, would you please move your tassel from the right side of your cap to the left, signifying that your journey from student to graduate is complete. Would everyone please welcome me in congratulating the class of 2018. Y'all are getting so thank you. Before I begin my closing remarks, I would like to invite Chancellor Costa.
We could not close this academic year this evening without a special note of recognition and appreciation. And I would like to call Jill Hansen forward, please. In my remarks earlier that Jill stepped up and served over the past year as the interim director for the Sitka campus. She's done a phenomenal job. She's worked very effectively in support of students, working with the faculty and the staff. And we have a small gift here that we would like to give her, a photograph at night of Sitka to remember the excellent service that she's provided to our students, our faculty, our staff, and to the entire University of Alaska system.
Jill was doing 2 jobs for this entire year. Thank you, Jill. And she's going on a much needed vacation on Sunday. A celebration like this cannot happen without the hard work and contributions of many people. Again, thanks to the stage party for traveling here to make this evening a special occasion. And a special thank you to Jamie Gibson for sharing her thoughts and her story and her song with the graduating class. Thank you, Regent Anderson and Regent Parker, for your attendance on behalf of the board of regents. Let's also thank Josh Hausham and Kiana Davis for their music, which they will resume in the atrium as we begin our reception, and Sarah Brewer for her beautiful solo recital of the national anthem. Unseen to most of us was a long, hard work for the commencement work group, especially Miss Jenna Turner and Emmy Rolls. Are they here? Can you stand? I would like Jenna. Yeah. And all of this, the faculty and staff volunteers to help make this evening outstanding. Thank you so much. And a final thanks to the graduates and their families. You have earned this special ceremony with your many long hours of sacrifice, dedication, and hard work. We are proud of what you have achieved and wish you the very best. Please join us for a reception following the recessional. Food will be served in the front atrium downstairs with dining tables in room 106 nearby. Signs mark the way to room 202 where a photo studio area has been made available so graduates and families can take their own portraits and group photos. I'd like to ask the audience to remain in place as the stage party followed by faculty and then the graduates file out. Graduates will be greeted by the faculty individually as they leave the auditorium. Congratulations and have a wonderful night.
All right.